Here we are, folks, Kalula Way again. The difference this time is this morning a rain event finished whereby we had somewhere close to 600 millimeters in 40 hours. So I'm curious to see how much water is down here and also whether I can actually get through. So there are fresh tyre tracks here, so someone's had a look if not gone through. So the breakdown of the weather we had. In 20 hours over Friday, we got 400 and around 45 millimeters, and then overnight we copped another 140 millimeters or so. And what else can I say except be grateful that I actually live on a boat. Although, I have to admit, on the Friday night there was a lot of wind gusts, so the old boat did rock and roll a bit. And as you can see, the road ahead is a creek or a river. So let's go and have a look. And the tyre tracks just turned around, although I do have one more set that's still going forward. And now, depth wise I'd have to have the bike on my shoulders, and if I assume it's too far away, but the flow rate going across where the actual creek is just too much. Oh well, here ends this little adventure. So I'll go back out to the main road and go to the forestry up higher, but then again, even the smallest creek up there is going to be high tide, shall we say. Mind you, it's nice just here. So that was the thing I noticed. That was the thing I noticed on Saturday morning. With all the water around, all you could hear were the male cane toads begging for partners. got grit up in the rear disc brake already. What the heck, let's try this, take the shortcut. Oh, and while I'm at it, I may as well mention, since the last video I posted, I've had 2 punctures. One was the front wheel, where in the bush I hit a rock. I was doing reasonable speed, I had reasonable air in the tyre, but as soon as I hit the rock, the sound was clear that I'd pinched the tyre and tube up to the rim, and then I immediately heard the tube go, and there were 2 10mm splits in it, so that was dead. Can't repair those, so I put a new tube in. The next day, which was a week from today actually, last Sunday, I ordered 5 new tubes and 2 new tyres, and they came from Melbourne, and surprisingly by Tuesday lunchtime I had them. So clearly the postal system's working again. Although I will point out to those people with these bikes in Australia, if you need spares, start looking, because each time I go on to look for tyres and things like that, I'm finding a lot more of them appearing out of stock, which is what I was told would happen last year. And the new tyres I did get, I've gone for a slightly chunkier tread pattern. I'll lose a bit of roll efficiency, however I should make up some good grip in the bush, although I've got to admit I'm happy with the grip I've been having. It's just the novelty of having punches is wearing off. My previous bike, over 20,000 kilometres, 1 puncture. And even that was an adventure because it was a shard of glass in an urban setting during a rain squall. And I did the repair with my back huddled to the rain, creating a dryish patch under my chin where I could do the repair. And that repair lasted well over 10,000 kilometres. So it worked. But this bike, my goodness, I've had so many punches. I think I'm up to around 15. So I've been using more of the folding tyres on this bike than on the previous. So I'm not sure if that is the reason, but I am looking at other ways to get around the problem. I also ordered a few different brands as he comes to a boggy end. Yeah, I'll walk it through here. Yeah, I ordered a few different brands of tube so that I can play them against each other too. Oh, massive leech underneath me. Yeah, I do pay attention. Oh, slippery. Anyway folks, I'll leave you here because I'm hoping to have some half decent stuff up in the forestry. Welcome back to East Mullen. But this time we'll go straight into the forest, nothing along the edge. This is going to be wet, sloppy, and I'm going to get crap all through the drivetrain. Already have had a lot of very fine pulverised sand grit splash up onto the cassette, but that's already just dried and the noise has stopped, so I assume I'm going to get another load. Of course, I've got grit and crap all through the front disc. What happens is I don't have a front fender, and I prefer not to have one, but of course all the wet sand and pulverized sand in particular, it flicks up onto the back of the fork and then it runs down the back of the fork and directly into the brake caliper. Perfect line, perfect feed. So I've already pondered what sort of little apparatus I could put on the back of the fork just to divert the grit and crap from going into the brake caliper. So I don't want to seal off the top of it, otherwise you don't have cooling. And remembering I do not have brake pads in there that have the cooling area on the back of them. Mind you, I thought that was a bit of a wank, to be honest. I had the previous model and I rode it where I ride this. I rode the same style and I wasn't shy on using the brakes, and I never had them fade or cause problems. In fact, after I wore out the first pads on this, I was speaking to the guy I gave the old bike to, and I told him I was confident there was plenty of meat on his brake pads, but he was going to get it serviced, so I told him to ask them to check. So he had the bike shop check his brake pads, and they told him there was plenty of meat, he didn't have to change them, and that was 22,000 kilometres on the bike, whereas these pads wore out so quickly. What, 3,500 kilometres, maybe 4? So there's something different. Let's go for the soft. Oh, it's wet enough to hold together. And we've had someone up this morning with their dog, walking their dog. So I can see their tracks underneath me. Can always get a little bit iffy walking dogs up here, because the forestry every so often do bait for the wild dogs and the pigs, although they do put signs up on the trees at the intersections. So if you're in the forestry and you see a piece of paper stuck to a tree, check it. There's a good chance it's telling you there are poisons. So this is certainly a little bit lumpier than the last time I came through. I guess that's what 600 mil of rain in a short time will do. Oh, somehow I've bumped myself up to assist mode 5. No wonder it was going so easily. Right, we're back down to active, and now we'll drop back down to tour. The no entry sign, they haven't done logging in this section for at least 3 months. In fact, it's been that long, a lot of the area they've logged in here has already been processed and replanted. So I saw them replanting the other day. and that is all done by hand, folks. It's too rough, they can't find a machine with the intelligence to cope. Track that goes to the left is where we rode on the last video. So we do have water down here, but it shouldn't be too deep. What you have to do is double check that you can see, because sometimes the drains break up, and the last thing you want to do is catch a wheel or break an ankle. So we'll ride off to this side. You can see everything there. Oh. There are quite a few little areas just like that where there's a bit of a water course that's usually dry, but there is a bit swampy off to the edges. Years ago I was walking, so I quite often can do a 30-40 kilometre walk up into the pine forest. I was walking that day and there was a four-wheel drive parked at the edge, and the guy didn't realise I was coming until I was pretty much beside the vehicle. And he looked a bit surprised, but then he says, White's got me out here collecting ferns. And I thought, oh yeah, right here. Kept going. Didn't sit that sort of particularly strange with me. A week later, major drug bust in the pine forest, because they'd had plantations hidden in the swampy areas. We certainly had some volumes through here, because you look at all the debris and all the flattened ferns and grasses. So, and this is all heading from this location. This will head down to Nana Creek, and this is going to flood Maryborough again, same as it did in January. So we're staying in tour just for the old man. Plus it gives me the opportunity to use smaller gears, which I was about to say generally have less noise in them because of the angle of the chain. And now I'm getting grit and horrible noises coming from it. Whoa, big chunk of road just missing on the right hand side. Oh, let's take this. So this is called Swampy 2. This will take us past the nursery where they actually do all the seedlings for the forestry. Not happy with the noises I'm getting. For some reason I'm getting less noise on the larger cogs. I've got to stop. It's annoying me. What's going on? Right, that alignment's good, that's clear, that's straight, that's working. Can't see any crap. There's no crap in the cassette. So, are we getting noise from here? Certainly grit in the chain. Plenty of oil in the chain. Yes. No, that's pretty much clear. Oh, must be just in the chain. Oh well. And let's see if you can see that. See all the crap up in there? Comes off the tyre and then just runs down the back. You can see a track down there, it hits there, and then it also splashes up onto there, or it drips down from there where it touches here. Pain in the ass. But not everyone rides in the crap conditions I do. I just have to learn to live with it and work around it. Still sounds like more noise than just grit. Let's go up a cog, see what happens. Now and again, get some speed up. That's it. Oh, that was a bit more sandy. Although it's cyclical noise. Obviously it's louder on my right foot pedal than it is on my left because I'm right-handed and right-footed. Ah well, so long as the bike head's working. Oh! That was quicksand. We really sank in a good 4 to 6 inches. Oh. One of my best snake encounters was along this particular stretch of road. It was red belly black, would have been a good 4.5 meters. It was big. And what it was doing was laying with its tail to the middle of the road, head to the grass ready for a quick exit. But at that particular time of day, the pine trees, as you can see here, creating their individual shadows. Well, it was doing that, and it was laying exactly between where the shadows were, so it blended in, and yet it was still in full sun. So I stopped and I talked to it for a couple of minutes, and it was quite happy to have me at a distance. So after watching it for a while and realising it was reasonably tolerable, I then walked around the back of it, but I made my approach by really turning to the right to go well around it. So it just kept a bit of an eye on me and didn't bother moving, which is the way I like it. Don't need to stress them, I just want to see them and watch them. Anyway, we're nearly to my turn off where I want to drop down to where the platypus lives. Next road. I've got to tell you, I've been coming here for 10 years and I've never seen the water this high before today. This is really a billabong. It becomes part of the creek system during the floods. And I don't know if you can notice, but to the left there's a massive part of the road missing. So we stay back from the edges just to make sure. Oh, little goanna just went to the right there. Wow, he said. There you go, folks, cane toads calling for mates. Wow, okay. Just for a reference point, there's a track goes to the right, there's a track goes to the left, and at the moment I'd say they're under about 2 to 3 metres. Wow, that is impressive. Anyway, no point standing here listening to cane toads. This has got a slight clayishness to this sand, but it's sticking like crazy to my thongs. And the wheel. Oh, that's sloppy. Wet, sloppy, fine. So we'll walk up the water, see if we can get a bit of this crap off. Oh dear. No brake caliper's full. Right, we're on active. Let's see how we go. Alright, I'm playing the brakes to try and clean them. Well, there you go, folks. I'll get you to hang around a little bit longer. We've got a small bridge down to the left, which I assume may still be open. If it is, I'll record across it and then I'll turn the camera off and I'll go to the phone camera so I can get a bit of the nursery. And strangely, the noise that I had before is gone. Oh. Ouch. caught my toes on the road. Let's see. Oh no, we're not going through there. Somewhere under that water is a bridge. One of those old timber bridges made out of logs. Ah, yes. And those roadside posts you can see, and there's one over there just under the water that's flopping around. They're your normal size, so that gives you an idea of the depth. And even if it was a bit shallower, just look at the bloody rate of flow. You wouldn't have a chance. Anyway, this is getting a bit long on the recording. I'll catch up with you. I dare say I may find a couple of other flooded creek areas that may be worth having a look at. Catch ya. I know it's not much, however, dead centre is a fish. Now, if you've ever wondered how healthy the waterways are in the forestry, let me show you where we are. Oh, I'm laughing, I'm giving it away. That's a puddle on a road in a pine forest. So this is not a normal watercourse, yet there is a fish there. There is a normal creek down there, and there would be swamps and waterholes and whatever you want to call them very close by, but how a little fish got into that hole there, let's see if we can zoom in to there it is, in the shimmering water. There you go, little fella. Sorry it's not clear so you can't tell what fish it is. But it is a fish. Hot damn, he said. There we are, folks. Somewhere in the middle of all that moving, glistening water is a little freshwater cray. See if I can get in a bit closer. And again, I'm only about a metre away from the puddle where I saw the fish. So, he said trying to get up. So yeah, the fish was up in that puddle there. As you can see, there are logs and all sorts of garbage over the road here. I also found another fish down in this puddle. And for those curious about fish, or with knowledge, it was a reddish brown fish. So, yep. But this isn't a natural watercourse, so odds on they will perish if they don't follow the water flowing down to the natural creek. Anyway, catch ya.